Welcome back to the State Farm 2023 APP U.S. Indoor Championships. It's now time for some women's doubles action for you. We have our winners bracket semifinals, and this is going to be fun. Taking a live look at Susannah Barr. 11 APP gold medals won this season, and 4 of them won with the woman at her side in women's doubles. Megan Fudge, we just saw her husband, Ryler DeHart, play a few moments ago here on ESPN+. Megan Fudge has 6 APP golds won this season, 36 years old. Calls Bel Air, Florida home, but actually bases out of an RV for the season. They did fly here to Chicago, left the RV back in Florida. On the other side, we have a duo that we've seen a lot more of in the back half of the season, and they've had some pretty good success. Talking about Mari Humberg and Allison Harris. Mari, the one on the right side of your screen. Allison, the one you're taking a look at right now, 30 years old, based out of Nashville, Tennessee. She has 5 total APP medals in this season, and then her partner, Mari Humberg. It's a fun duo to watch. This is going to be a fun match to watch.
Oh, just out. Yeah, Humberg and Harris just knocked down Todd and Pisnik.
Here's Mari Humberg. Calls Louisville, Kentucky home, but originally from Brazil.
And AJ McCord dropping the correct pronunciation of Louisville, too. I appreciate that.
Listen, I know I'm sitting next to 2 baseball guys. I'm not going to mess that up.
Oh, you're sitting next to somebody that can't pronounce anything right.
That's you.
If I'm in Australia, I sound like an American. If I'm in America, I sound like an Australian. And either way, I just pronounce everything wrong.
Can't win for losing.
I know, but I get away with saying things wrong. Mari just turned around, looked at me, raised the eyebrows a little bit, and was like, yeah, I did that.
Our broadcast booth right behind where Humberg and Harris are defending their side of the court. And right now it is Harris and Humberg with a early 2-1 lead here in game 1 and our best 2 out of 3 to 11.
That was the W.
Yeah, the W. You. No, nobody's going to split them in the middle.
Down the point of contention. 2-1-2 the score for Humberg serve. And
big serve there from Humberg. And one thing with Humberg's game is she adds so much spin, whether it's the cut slice with the backhand or she's going with a heavy top spin there on the forehand serve. That one, unfortunately, catching the top of the net.
So it'll be a side out here. Megan Fudge with the serve, 1-3-1.
Well, there, her spin worked against her there. She hits a really hard cut return. Fudge flips
spin
it the other way.
Yeah.
And then when Humberg tries to go and hit up on it, she hits it right in the net.
Sheesh.
Yeah, Harris and
Humberg.
Harris and Humberg caught a little bit there, uncoiling. It was a big serve by Fudge that pushed Harris back. Oof.
Okay, so if I'm Barr and Fudge, it's one spot that I think that they need to exploit if they're going to go anywhere on Harris and Humberg. And it's the left foot of Allison Harris.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to her right foot because she hits a great cross-court dink. So it's got to be that inside foot.
Oh, just like that.
Yeah, but that was a good speed up there from Harris. The issue is Fudge countered it, and Harris is still sitting on the forehand. And the counter from Fudge going right at that left shoulder. Harris needs to attack and then come back middle.
Unfriendly roll there off the net for Humberg. So a timeout called early on in this one. Harris and Humberg with the timeout as Susannah Barr and Megan Fudge work their way into a 6-3 lead here in game number 1. We talked about this duo a lot this season, and that's because they're pretty good at pickleball. 4 golds, 4 silvers, and 2 bronze as a team this year. And I feel like we saw it even early on in game 1. What makes them so hard to beat is their communication is almost nonverbal at this point. They know exactly where the other one's going to be, and it makes it so hard to find a weak spot.
Well, their communication and their ability and recognition to fix things in the middle of a match.
Yes.
They went up 1-0, then they went down 3-1 really quick, and it was because they were going to the wrong spot. They literally said 2 words to each other and fixed it, and now they have a 6-3 lead.
I thought you were going to say recognition there for a second.
That's your Australian word.
Yeah, again,
That's Chad, that's you right
again.
there.
Sitting too much, sitting too heavy on that forehand. You'll see it right there. And Fudge going at that left shoulder. Creates the pop-up.
That time the dink by Megan Fudge, not getting enough height to go over the net. And that is one of the things talking with the players this week, is that getting used to the bounce of the ball on these indoor courts is taking some adjustment.
Round. Oh!
Wow.
What defense by Susannah
I almost
Barr.
yelled out way too early.
You did. You did. You thought it was a winner, and then
I did.
Around the post from Humberg is so good, but Barr defends it, goes cross court, and gets the point.
Yeah, good defense there from Barr and Fudge, but it's the forehand roll from Harris. Barr not able to catch up to it. I think Humberg and Harris do need to put a little bit more pressure on. Right now, Barr and Fudge are controlling the tempo.
Oh, unlucky there. Humberg trying to do exactly what you said, and then just a little bit too close to the net.
I'm going to swat that down.
Flips it off of it. Gives Barr and Fudge a chance to go back on the offensive.
So that's a good leave right there. So sometimes that point of contention, as AJ likes to call it, with Fudge and Barr, because Barr likes her two-handed backhand.
Yeah.
She needs to give that up just a couple more inches to Barr or to Fudge so she can put that away, and she did right there.
And right down the middle there from Harris. Barr and Fudge just not able to get off that baseline. Ooh, just misses.
Just sails long, so a side out. Two teams exchange a pair of scoreless side outs here. Humberg with an opportunity to cut into this lead. Oh, some help off the net there.
She made the adjustment this time.
But it's the difference right there is Fudge is expecting it too, but what does she do? She anticipates and then anticipates the opposite way. It's what Harris needs to do.
Fudge catching Humberg and Harris as they were trying to crash the kitchen line.
I like the reset there from Humberg, but she got a little antsy. She tried to come all the way in at it, and she got caught moving and hitting the ball at the same time.
Good leave there from Harris. The return from Humberg was half an inch above the net. You right over there? Good?
All good, sorry.
Okay.
She's still with us.
She's still with us. So far, so good here. Susannah Barr goes for the lob, but Allison Harris ready for it. The overhead.
Well, that's part of the difficulty of being indoors here.
Yeah.
A little bit lower ceiling.
Then the sky.
Still. Yes. there's still enough space for that offensive lob because it's not going as high as the defensive lob, but you think about the ceiling, so then you naturally just end up dropping it lower because you're worried about going too high with it.
And I have seen a few of those lobs go into the lights here on championship court, so the players have seen it happen this week and know that it is a possibility if they don't adjust. 4-8-2 the score for Allison Harris's serve.
Oh. Trying to get out of the way right there because that ball's going well wide, but it's a good deceptive shot here from Humberg because Fudge isn't expecting that.
Well, that's her strength there too, is the one-hand backhand flick. She hits it with heavy topspin. That one was a little bit more aggressive. And we saw that one go down the line, but Barr was ready for it.
Susannah said, I can do that too. I'll taste your own medicine.
Well, it's like, too, Chad, it's sitting fastball adjusting off speed. And Barr sitting on the fastball right there. And where? You're pointing at your chest.
Well, so Humberg got Barr earlier right in the center of the chest. She would have gotten Fudge in the center of the chest if she hadn't have moved, but that one she decided to go more line, and it just fed straight into Barr's forehand.
Allison Harris picking her spot well right down the middle, and either Fudge or Barr can get to it.
Well, Megan Fudge all over that in the middle, just goes a little too big.
Sheesh, speaking of big, some strength in those forehands from Harris.
Well, the deception there from Harris is that when she hits that forehand, it actually slides along the paddle a little bit, so it's an inside-out forehand without the visual cue of the change of the hand. So it's difficult to pick up. Ooh, tweener.
Megan Fudge, well-placed ball on the sideline, but what a point. Barr with the lob, Humberg with the tweener. Let's see it again.
This is a perfect tweener from Mari Humberg.
See Megan Fudge is put away there. And then a clap of applause, appreciation for the shot that Humberg pulled off.
It was a tweener drop. I mean, it was perfect.
It's beautiful. Now, is that one of those situations that most of the time when there's a tweener, you guys say it's because it's the only shot possible?
That was the only shot.
And that if she tries to get around it, she doesn't have enough time. Two, she'll probably run into the barriers back here and not be able to get back into the court anyway.
So good awareness there from Humberg, and now it's a side out. No points added to the side of Barr and Fudge, and Harris and Humberg want to take an offensive timeout here to try and figure out how they're going to continue to cut into this lead that Barr and Fudge have built. We talked about it. It's worth seeing again. Absolutely. Mari Humberg with the tweener, early highlight of the day.
But you'll look here. It's the amount of time that she has. So she doesn't have enough time to be able to get around it before that ball's going to hit the court again. So in reality, yes, that's the only option she has, is because that lob, and a very good lob there from Barr, was so far out in front of her.
Yep.
If there's a little bit more height and you have time to get around the ball, then obviously you're going to drop it or lob it or drive it, whatever your visual cue is there. But that one's just, I got to get it back somehow, and the tweener's the way to go.
And it was a great, like you said, it was like a tweener drop. It was well placed.
It was well placed. It was a great job, and she's done that before a million times. So, again, it wasn't like it was something that was going to be very difficult for Humberg. It's a good shot, but again, now the offensive timeout, I like it. Try and regroup here. Haven't scored for a while.
Right. They have scored the last 2 points. It was 8-3. Barr and Fudge had the lead at 1 point. Humberg and Harris, though, have managed to add 2 to their side.
Ooh, just a little too big of a swing there from Allison Harris. Good setup there from Humberg. But also, good job from Fudge getting out of the way.
5-8-2 the score for Harris's serve.
I like the aggressiveness there from Harris, but she's going too far cross court here. She's got to go right at the body of Susannah Barr.
Barr doing a good job getting out of the way of that one.
Look at all the, like, between Megan Fudge and Mari Humberg cross court, who can put more cut on the ball? They are cutting this ball like crazy, putting a ton of spin.
Well, in reality, the only way to counteract that heavy backspin Ooh, Fudge just came up out of her legs right there before she made contact. The only way to counteract that backspin is to hit it with backspin bat. It slows the ball down a little bit. If you try to go topspin, it has a tendency to bite a little too quickly.
Oh, great defense by Megan Fudge. Gets up for the change of pace by Humberg and then manages to put it away.
Yeah, but it's
the fleet feet.
It's being able to get both feet reestablished outside of the kitchen.
Sets up a game point opportunity here for Fudge and Barr.
Oh, you told her that one.
Ambitious. Ambitious at best right there. That ball was really low.
But it was there, but she was moving back to the middle for that second ball before she had executed the first.
Allison Harris getting the better of that firefight. 6-10.
6-10-1.
Trying to use the spin coming back from Megan Fudge to create a bunch of topspin on that ball right there.
But that's where if you don't get the extension, it's just going to bite it straight down into the top of the net.
Good
Harris
leave.
doesn't even watch that one land. She said, nope, I know that one's out.
Yeah, good leave right there from Fudge, but a good cross-court pressure dink from Susannah Barr. Put the pressure on Harris.
Second game point opportunity here. Susannah Barr with the serve. And they get it done. Susannah Barr and Megan Fudge take game one here on Championship Court. Women's doubles winners bracket semifinal action. We'll have game two coming your way when we return.
From tonight, Grant Gill will become a legend when he totally kills it at his improv class's graduation performance. Knees will be slapped, suds will be sprayed. People won't know what hurts more, their cheeks or their sides. That's why he's already keeping himself in shape and razor sharp today with health tips and wellness tools from AARP to help make sure his health lives as long as he does. Because the younger you are, the more you need AARP.
From the Volpe family to yours. Fine cured meats we've been crafting since 1902. Our secrets are simple. Care comes from the time it takes to do things right. Character comes from the hard work and determination it takes to make it. Craft comes from the traditions passed down over 4 generations. Delicious doesn't need to be complicated. That's the Volpe way, where passion and love go into everything we do. From John and Armando and Lorenza and Gianna. From our family to yours.
We started this mission in tennis about 5 years ago. We've been perfecting our craft and our tools. We now see a phenomenal opportunity to take all that and bring it into pickleball to support an emerging ecosystem that's booming. And it's a super complementary partnership for us. With the experience and the existing events that are up and running, the recreational element of APP, it's a fantastic 1 + 1 is going to equal 4. So we're thrilled to be partnering with APP.
Susannah Barr and Megan Fudge are one game away from winning their first gold medal as a women's doubles duo here on the APP Tour this season. Championship point opportunity here, and that is how they do it. Megan Fudge and Susannah Barr are golden on the APP Tour in women's doubles for the first time this season.
It's been such a fun journey, and getting to know her better as a person, as a player, and just been a really fun ride.
St. Louis, thanks for coming out.
It was the first gold medal of the season for these two on the APP, but it was not the last. They've added 3 more golds to their trophy cases since St. Louis, going for a 5th gold now here in Chicago. But not if Mari Humberg has anything to say about it. Strong finish there to get them their first point on the board in this game number 2.
A good ball there from Fudge. Good depth. And that causes the ball to go through the court, makes it more difficult to pick up.
Almost digging that out from the transition areas, Megan Fudge.
Pushes them onto their second serve, so it's going to be Fudge.
A little 1-2 combo, speed up forehand for Susannah Barr.
And then a pull the string.
Yeah, the change up. The fastball change up combo.
Fudge trying to catch Humberg on the uncoil, but Mari more than ready for it, and it'll be a side out. 1-1-1 our score in game 2.
Just catches the top of the tape on the cut backhand from Megan Fudge.
2-1-1.
Great serve there by Humberg. What I was going to say is what I really like about the way we've seen Harris and Humberg grow as a duo is they really represent, I'll tell you after this next point here. They really represent how much the sport has grown. Both of them coming into the season with full-time jobs, and now as we wrap up 2023, both of them either quitting or moving to part-time to pursue pickleball professionally.
Well, yeah, we have tons of players doing that, and as the players who had jobs, quitting a lot of their jobs to pursue that pickleball full-time, the opportunity's there for it right now, and they're taking that chance.
Pretty cool to see how much this sport has grown just in the last year, and looks poised to do so even more in 2024.
Nice angle right there from Megan Fudge to put away cross court, give them the side out.
So it'll be Megan Fudge now with the serve, 1-4-1.
Oh, nice cut drop right there, and Harris doesn't kind of counter the spin from Megan Fudge there, Chad.
Well, the other thing, too, is with that ball dropping so much and you take it out of the air, if you have any leg lift in that situation, you end up mishitting the ball. Contact point ends up changing. You have to stay down all the way through that motion there.
Great angle and Sort of flatness of that ball from Allison Harris. Put it out of the reach of Susannah Barr's paddle. Oh, good recovery.
Oh.
Well done by Allison Harris to get a paddle on that one, get it back over the net.
Yeah, Barr just gets caught trying to reach here. Catches it off the end of the paddle.
So it'll be a side out. Allison Harris with the serve, an opportunity to extend this lead.
She jammed her up nicely, did Megan Fudge, but great hands from Humberg to get a good paddle on the ball right at her hip.
If she swings at that, she misses it. It goes straight into the net. But the fact that she just blocked it right there from the hip. Right.
Too big right there on 2 counters from Susannah Barr. Just got to punch that back. Almost that shovel pass cross court with the 2-hander.
Good ball there from Fudge. Slides over. Good short, compact backhand. Gets it straight to the feet of Humberg. But I kind of think that's the difference here in game 2. Harris and Humberg have slowed themselves down a little bit. They're executing before they're trying the move. Whereas now Barr and Fudge are kind of almost trying to do a little too much with their movement to try to put the pressure on. But it's creating that unbalance for them.
That forehand winner from Mari Humberg gives them a 7-2 lead and is enough for Susannah Barr and Megan Fudge to want a timeout here on the court as they trail by 5 in game number 2 of our women's doubles winners bracket semifinals.
You see Fudge and Barr still loose on the sideline. Down by 5 here. Need to get this side up, but still loose. They know exactly what they need to do. And right now, it's more about execution. Who's going to execute? You know what each other's got on the other side of the net. Who can execute better right now? And like Chad hit on, it's Fudge and Barr right now are out of their rhythm.
Right.
So they're not executing what they want to do right now. And Humberg and Harris are doing everything that they want. So it's now about what can Fudge and Barr do to get Harris and Humberg out of their rhythm.
And certainly calling a timeout is one way to try and do that. Stop this little run that, I believe it's a 3-point run, 3-0 run here. Harris and Humberg have put together. 7-2-2 the score for Mari Humberg serve. That's one way to do it. Megan Fudge getting big in the middle.
Well, they try to do the exact same thing and go at the 2-handed backhand of Susannah Barr. She does a better job of anticipating that and shoveling that back cross court instead of trying to do too much with it.
A good spot there from Barr. Goes into that right hip of Humberg, and it's so difficult whether you slide across with the backhand, you're punching down on that ball into the net, which is what happened there from Humberg, or if you go a forehand side and you're not out in front, you get jammed up there as well.
Good recognition there from Barr, recognizing on, or good recognition. On the uncoil there as Harris was slow getting up, and so she hits about a 60% drive right at her feet.
That's serve out. Pushes them onto their second serve. Megan Fudge with it. Another look here.
Foot in the way. There's her spin. Her spin comes back to haunt her right there.
But again, it's into that right hip of Humberg. Just a little late getting to it.
Ooh. We've seen Humberg do that before. She'll get into bouts of that every once in a while. She plays very clean, but every once in a while she tries to do just a little too much, put an exclamation point on that ball right there and off the top of the tape, and now we got a ball game here.
And so it is a timeout called on the court. This time it's Harris and Humberg, and they're hoping that this timeout has the same fortune that the last one called had for Barr and Fudge, because since Susannah Barr and Megan Fudge called the last timeout, they immediately forced a side out and then went on a 4-0 run here in game number 2 of our women's doubles winners bracket final at the State Farm 2023 APP Indoor Championship. So if you're Humberg and Harris, what do you have to get back to out of this timeout to get yourselves an opportunity here to extend the lead that was once 5 points?
Well, Barr and Fudge have taken the opportunity to speed a few more balls up here. They've slowed themselves down with the footwork, much more balance. It's given the ability to speed some balls up and jammed up Humberg and Harris. For Humberg and Harris, they need to get back to creating that movement of Fudge and Barr, get them back off balance, have them trying to attack from either on the move or from those more difficult balls. That was a little bit of waiting too long to attack on that.
It was a right ball, but
yes.
it dropped too low.
Ooh, almost picks it up. But it's that little misdirect from Harris. It's not so much an intentional inside out. It's just a natural inside out based off of her swing.
Humberg tries to lob Susannah Barr, but Barr ready for it. Another look here. Megan Fudge with the cross-court finish. So back to back.
Well, good job. And like you're saying, like,
attempts at the lob.
Right, and I like the idea, but it was a good job by Harris and Humberg to get Fudge and Barr moving throughout that point. They had the setup.
Fudge just a little overextended there on the forehand. And that's set up by going to the backhand. Creates that hole in the opening, and then Fudge is just a fraction late getting back to the middle. It's a tough ball to speed up there for Barr. Heavy backspin again from Humberg. Ball drops a little too quick.
That's the spot right there that Megan Fudge needs to go to. If she's going to go there, she's got to go to that left foot like we talked about in game 1 of Allison Harris.
That bar from Susannah Barr going a little bit long. It's rare to see her miss on those.
I thought the point was over there.
Yes.
And then somehow Fudge gets that ball out wide, gets it back into the kitchen, brings them back into the point.
Great defense shown throughout that point by Fudge and Barr. Because I did notice exactly what you were talking about, how Harris and Humberg look like they're trying to distribute the ball around the court a lot more since they called that timeout.
Fudge tried to rush that one, get it there before Harris could uncoil.
So it hasn't been clean, but since that timeout, Humberg and Harris have added 2 to their scoreline and have kept Megan Fudge and Susannah Barr from adding any more points to theirs. It's been a lot of scoreless sideouts, though, on this 2-0 run.
On Harris, it looked like she changed her mind. She likes to go roll cross court. She changed her mind to go middle, and in the middle of that goes off the tape.
6-9-1, the score for Barr's serve.
Oh, good touch there from Humberg. Nice wide overhead right here, and then the touch. She knows that she's pulled Fudge off the court far enough.
I love in a point like that when there's so much power the rest of the point, to have it end with such a soft dink is just such a like exclamation point, almost more than the big overhead finish. You know what I mean?
That soft touch ball is very difficult, though. You see that go
Exactly.
miss into the net more often than not.
Exactly. I think that's why it's so impressive to me when we have a point finish that way. And so now it's Harris and Humberg with a game point opportunity here in game 2. You can see Mari Humberg is fired up about it as Susannah Barr and Megan Fudge call a timeout on the court here, facing game point number 1 for Harris and Humberg. So, like I mentioned, it has not been as clean as when Megan Fudge and Susannah Barr called the timeout. They immediately forced the side out, went on a 4-0 run, but then Mari Humberg and Allison Harris called the timeout, and they are on a 3-0 run, but it has been a lot of side outs in between those 3 points.
Well, I think that's been the whole of game 2 here for Barr and Fudge. Is it hasn't been as clean as game 1. You know, they were able to get that little run back when they started putting the pressure on Harris and Humberg. But in game 1, Harris and Humberg, you know, it was a little hectic. Their feet were moving through all of their shots. They weren't settled. They weren't executing. So the roles have reversed here in game 2. And it's exactly the same for each team as to why they were ahead or why they ended up taking game 1 or game 2.
So an opportunity here for Mari Humberg and Allison Harris to put game 2 away. Humberg with the serve. And they do, right past the paddle of Susannah Barr. And so we have a game apiece. Let's head to 3, shall we? It's going to be a decisive game 3, 2-11 to decide who moves on in our women's doubles to the winners bracket final. Gives us a chance to look back at the Vlasic Instant Classic. That was Houston.
Breaking my back to make it out, got me feeling like pain. I ain't never need your help. I know you wishing me well, a penny for your touch, but seeing no change. I snap for the sun like Diddy. The riches got a mad ass son, I'm like Billy. I ain't never switch up, whole team with me. Putting on for my city like OAGZ. Set the pace as long as you finish. Consumers find a way inside your business. Babylist, they try to dabble in it, and they hate the fact that they may have to witness. You trying to aim for the top like this, and you're in your element with a fire like this. And then when you fall in the praying you miss, but it's all in the risk. I got you with the switch, you know.
Shout out to ABP killing the game.
We've had so much fun at pretty much every stop along the tour here on the APP this 2023 season, and we are in the middle of a good one here on Championship Court at the Convention Center in Rosemont, Illinois, just outside Chicago. Mari Humberg and Allison Harris beat Susannah Barr and Megan Fudge in game 2 to the exact same score that Barr and Fudge beat them in game 1. So now it's all about game 3. Chad, what's the key since we have Humberg on the TV right now, what's the key for Humberg and Harris?
Well, I think the key for Humberg and Harris here is to do exactly what they did in Game 2. They slowed themselves down. They focused on the body positioning, on the execution, and were able to move Barr and Fudge around and keep them off balance. If they allow Barr and Fudge to dictate the tempo, then they're going to have a much more difficult time coming away with Game 3.
And Dom, for Susannah Barr and Megan Fudge, what's their key?
Create their own tempo, right? Don't force anything. Stay in the dink rallies. Move Harris and Humberg side to side. Create openings and then attack. There was the left foot or left hip of Allison Harris found by Megan Fudge, but a good setup there from Susannah Barr, and they're off to a good start here early.
Side out there after the big return from Humberg. So it's going to be Allison Harris with the serve here, trying to put her and her partner on the board.
Well, that's a much better job of Susannah Barr. You mentioned it, Chad. Her not getting the ball high enough to attack. Yep. She's attacking the right ball, but she's letting it drop a little too low. That time she got it out in front. Whoa. She fought that ball off her shoulder.
I don't know how it didn't hit her in the chest.
How?
That was a protection. Just
self-preservation.
Get it away from me.
Self-preservation deflection.
Oh no. Okay. I think Bob was hoping that ball was out right there. Harris almost misplayed it. And I think the added spin from Fudge there actually ended up helping her in the end.
Oh, again, I think it's what she's thinking, Allison Harris, as she's going.
Well, she's moving to the next ball before she's executed on the first.
Yep.
Mari Humberg only thinking about that one. The overhead finish, strong angle taken, ends up out of the field of play here at Championship Court. There was so much on it. So a side out here. Harris and Humberg still looking for their first points of game number 2. It's going to be Harris with the serve. Big forehand from Allison Harris in the middle.
Yeah, that little sliding forehand down the line to Fudge created the pop-up.
1-2-1.
But she says it's there, but she's still moving through it. She's got to set her feet.
1-2-2.
So we always talk about that transition zone in pickleball from the baseline to the kitchen line. And you're saying in that one, Mari Humberg, even though she's moving through it, she needs to sort of pause,
well, you need to
set your feet, and then hit it, keep moving.
Split step in the middle there, play the next ball. If your next ball is good, now finish going up. If it's high, you stay, but your feet got to stay set.
You almost have to be willing to pause in action.
Yep.
Oh, tweener again. Yeah,
I
think she should have taken that one out of the air. She had enough time to take that one out of the air right here, and then with a little bit of added spin throws her off. But the other thing too with that transition and what's happening to Humberg. Oh, got called for the foot fault. Anyway, what's happening to Humberg is the paddle goes out. Okay, it's in position, but the feet stop moving. So now the body moves into the paddle, and she ends up getting jammed up or jamming herself up. Whereas if we split, paddle's out. Now I have that balance. Now if I take a step, my paddle's more likely to move with the body rather than we're out, the body still moves and it comes back into us.
That makes sense. 1-3-1, the score for Humberg serve. Listen to the APP Tour broadcast. You get free coaching here.
Absolutely.
Telling people how to work through the transition zone more effectively. I like it.
Oh, how did she stay out of the kitchen?
Oh, my.
Oh, my goodness, really?
That was some great
off
hands.
balance for
Great
at least
balance.
3 of those balls.
I mean, that's a situation where Allison Harris could have stepped up and grabbed Humberg by the bun or the back of the shirt right there and just yanked her back out of the kitchen.
Would that be considered an interference?
No, that's legal.
It's legal.
You can do it.
Yeah.
Help a sister out. That one just barely low into the net. Backhand of Allison Harris pushes them onto their second serve.
3-3-2.
But tie game here in game 3.
Oh, that's a difficult shot right there.
What
On the moving sideways.
A moving half volley lob. Half volley lob, tough.
Just
Moving
the
lob,
name is complicated.
tough. Combining both of them, even tougher.
That time, Allison Harris right down the middle.
Well, Fudge didn't read it at all. She did not read this off the paddle well. She did not think it was going to go there. I think she thought it was going to go more towards Fudge.
Ooh. I'm pretty
angle
sure
taken.
that lob was going to go out.
I think, yeah, Humberg played an out ball.
Hit an overhead on the sideline.
That was going to land 3 feet out.
Yeah.
Good leave. Now, it looked off the paddle of Megan Fudge, though, so similar to those other two where she had to do tweeners. Do you think that she was like, I'd rather play the ball than have to risk doing another tweener?
Well, it was more the angle.
Yeah, okay.
So it looks similar off the paddle, and depth-wise, if it had been a straighter ball, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think she kind of just lost herself or her positioning on the court at that point.
Time it's Susannah Barr who finds the sweet spot down the middle.
I mean, great defense here. This is a ton of pressure from Harris and Humberg right here. And then Barr just finds an opening in the middle.
3-4-2.
Oh, she confused her. Humberg stepped in front of Harris, and Harris thought she was going to get it right on this ball here. Harris stood up just enough to not get that over.
So it's a side out. Susannah Barr with the serve, chance to extend their lead.
Yeah, good angle there from Harris to finish it finally. But it was a good speed up there from Humberg right into the hip of Fudge that started or initiated that pop-up.
That cross-court dink left just a little short off the paddle of Humberg.
Well, I think there's a little hesitation there. There was a potential to let that ball go and develop around the post, or to take that back cross court, and she started to let it go and then had to rush the execution to try to get it back cross court. And that ball, I think, is going to be gone back behind our LED boards.
So it'll be a side out here. Oh, we're seeing if the ball is going to come back here. So this game much closer contested so far than our first two.
Well,
Susannah Barr and Megan Fudge. We'll take another look at this quickly. But like I was saying, the lead is much smaller for the winning team.
Yeah, and what you're seeing is you're seeing both teams make good adjustments, right? And so with the adjustments, you know, from both teams of getting back to their own game plans, you're seeing both teams execute well, but you're also seeing teams play defense well against it. So there's no surprises coming.
Right.
So right now it's who is going to execute their game plan better, like we talked about before this game started.
Yep. That time Allison Harris with a strong pressure dink cross court.
Well, she takes that one out of the air, adds the roll to it. It cuts down the reaction time for Barr. She's stretched out, not able to pick that one up.
Big finish there from Megan Fudge. Two overheads, one from Barr, and then the finisher from Megan Fudge.
The finisher.
That one left just a little bit short from Humberg, so they do add another point to their total, but it's a side out before they can tie things up. 5-4-1 the score for Megan Fudge. That time it seemed like Humberg and Harris got aggressive right from the opening ball.
Yeah, Humberg with those rolls right there. She's so good at that. She puts so much pressure on you.
The around the post from Fudge cannot find the corner that she was aiming for, so side out here, another look.
Well, this ball ends up checking up and kind of slows down because of the backspin right as it had developed outside the post. Fudge was going a little bit flatter. There wasn't that curl back in.
Harris leaves her feet for the forehand there to tie us up at 5-all.
She's got a whole 3 credit cards right there. That's high for Allison Harris. I do know Allison quite well. That's why I can.
I do believe you take some credit for her getting into pickleball, do you not?
She actually, when we were in Nashville back toward the end of the summer, a client of ours up there invited Allison to a clinic we were doing and said, hey, let us know if she's good enough to play pro pickleball. And she hit a few balls and we're like, yeah, she's good enough to play pro pickleball. I think you should play pro. And then she showed up in Cincinnati a couple of weeks later.
And we saw her put on a fantastic show in Newport in mixed doubles with her partner, Andre Mick.
Oh,
Your encouragement helping her get into pro pickleball.
That one right there from Humberg, a little ambitious.
It's there if she doesn't rush the body movement. And that's something, you know, when you're trying to add heavy topspin there like Humberg does, you're reaching out and then you try to crank on that spin and then the body jumps up. If you stay down and get the extension, then you're going to get the shape that you need to go up and over the net and then get back down. But as soon as the body jerks, now the contact point, instead of it being middle of the paddle, now slides to the bottom of the paddle and the top of the ball, so then it flattens out.
You don't get enough spin on it. You don't get that carry that you're looking for.
Speaking of Andre Mick, giving some help there to Allison Harris and Mari Humberg on the end change here in game number 3. Those two won a silver medal in Newport together, having met for the first time on, I believe it was Thursday of that week. And they figured out that each other was looking for a partner for mixed doubles online and met on Thursday and said, yeah, I think this will work. And it did. Silver medal for them walking away from Newport. But of course now here in women's doubles, Mari Humberg and Allison Harris want nothing more than to finish the year off with a gold. Susannah Barr and Megan Fudge, though, the experts on this court of what it takes to bring home a gold medal. They've got a 1-point lead here coming out of the end change in our game 3 to decide who moves on to our women's doubles winners bracket final.
A little rush there from Barr. Again, trying to get that drop down before Harris could uncoil from the stack.
6-5-2. Two right there. And again, you get the end change on your terms, and then you hit 2/3 in the net. Missed opportunity right there for Barr and Fudge. We'll see if Harris and Humberg can take advantage.
Oh, somehow.
Somehow she stayed out of the net.
That's what I was about to say. Somehow she avoided the net going up there and getting that one. And then Fudge steps into the middle of the court, buys some time for Barr to get back up.
And immediately pointed at Susannah Barr and said, that was you. That's the reason we got that. Great ball there by Mari Humberg. Finds just inside the baseline. Ties us up. 6-all. 6-6-2 for Allison Harris to serve.
Oh, the added backspin. I mean, Humberg's already putting a ton of backspin on that. Catches the net, adds some more, and just kicks straight back toward the net.
Oh my goodness, the accidental lob on the line from Susannah Barr, and her and Fudge will take it right here.
So it'll be a side out, 6-7-1.
Oh, Humberg tries to get up to that kitchen line too quickly there. You see the rushed cut forehand on the return.
That time it's Susannah Barr with the forehand right into the net.
And right there, you just got to make that because you got the uncoil and them getting there late. Just got to make that ball.
I think we're seeing from both teams right now that they're just trying to rush their execution a little bit.
What do you think is the reason for that?
They're trying to separate themselves right now. It's been so tightly contested here in game 3, and that's excellent execution there from Barr. Didn't try to do too much. Rolls the ball down, splits the middle. If she tries to rush that, she goes right into the top of the net.
Such a good job there from Megan Fudge. She anticipated the speed up early from Mari Humberg. Watch her get low here. Anticipates, counters, and then put away.
So it's a side out here. Megan Fudge with the serve, opportunity to get themselves a lead.
That one was wide. Humberg trying to really get some cut and angle on that ball. And she's mocking a pull the trigger there. I think she should have at Susannah Barr right in front of her.
That time Allison Harris finding a good spot, getting the ball to drop inside the baseline. Pushes Barr and Fudge onto their second serve. Susannah Barr says, come at me, I'm ready for it.
Well, good job getting back in play because she was pulled off court. She gets back in play and gets that forehand ready and then counters that nicely. But 2 points ago where Harris hit that ball through the middle, Susannah Barr went to her right foot too many times.
Yeah.
We talked about going to that inside foot.
She'd set it up with that roll and then sells it with the body to sneak it back through the middle. And that's, that's one way that you have to play Allison Harris. She has such a good forehand roll that you have to go back in between the body.
So it's a 2-point lead here for Barr and Fudge. This is our final event of 2023, but we won't be gone long because look at that. January 3rd through the 7th, the U.S. Collegiate Championships and Midwest Open coming your way for the 2024 APP Tour. And then back in Punta Gorda, some event in February, March, Sacramento and Miami.
I'm just hoping that Punta Gorda is warmer than what it was last year.
Because typically Punta Gorda is going to be as cold as it is for the U.S. Collegiate Championships in Indiana, because we're going to be inside for that one. But usually Punta Gorda is that cold every year we go there.
Yes.
For some odd reason.
Even though it's Florida.
Yes.
We had the
we get that 1 or 2 weeks.
The woolies out, and there's a little bit of wind. And I think everybody just becomes soft when you go to Florida, me included.
You and me both.
Once the temperature drops below 50.
It's time for the big puffy jacket.
Oh, yeah. And then all the Midwesterners laugh at the Floridians because they're like...
Please, we'd be in short sleeves.
They are in short sleeves.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a good spot.
Well, that was a good ball there from Allison Harris cross court, and she got Barr just enough off balance that instead of being able to pull that back cross court, she had to reset to Humberg, and Humberg pulls the trigger.
Susannah Barr with the forehand down the middle. We've seen a few of those from both sides, just finding that sweet spot down the middle, just inside the baseline. Pretty good spot. 7-9-2, the score for Harris's serve.
Off the tape right there, not kind there for Humberg, and ball pops up. Barr with the setup, and then Fudge with the put away.
9-7-1, the score for Fudge's serve.
Good change of spot there from Humberg. This time goes back behind Barr. She's a little late to catch up to it.
Mari Humberg finds a way to get the ball down after exchanging sort of flat.
It was just slap fest right there. Slapper balls all over the court.
So it's a side out here, and Mari Humberg getting us started. Allison Harris going for the around the post, can't get the shape on it.
Well, why is that a good hard cross court here? Because watch the angle. So Barr doesn't go tight to the net. She goes with a hard angle to the tee, and it doesn't leave Harrison a lot of room, even though she's pulled out well wide.
She kind of, ooh, yeah, that's tough. So in reality there, Barr could have let that ball go. It probably would have spun back into the net and hit the bar.
Which, as we learned from the last match, or as was reiterated in the last match, is a replay. But instead, it's a point for Harris and Humberg and tie things up.
Tight.
Trying to make something happen right there. So timeout here looks like from Barr and Fudge, all tied up here at 9-9 on second server for Harris and Humberg.
Done a good job here, have Harris and Humberg to put together a few points, get themselves back in this one. Mari Humberg motioning for Andre Mick to come on down. He seems to be playing the role of coach here for these two in this match because they sit at a really critical juncture here. They have fought their way back to tie this up, and this would be a massive moment for them to punch their ticket, not just to punch their ticket to the winner's bracket final, but to do so by going through Susannah Barr and Megan Fudge would be quite the accomplishment.
Well, they already knocked down Paris Todd and Tina Pisnik and looked extremely solid in that one. Came out a little shaky in game one, but made their adjustment game two, and they battled back here. So, yeah, it would be pretty good day for Harris and Humberg to get through this one.
But there's a reason that Susannah Barr and Megan Fudge have so much hardware as women's doubles partners, and it's because they seem to always find a way to make that adjustment. Let's see if they can do it here. Allison Harris with the serve.
Good angle there from Megan Fudge as Barr went left sideline, then middle, and then Fudge goes far sideline.
9-9-1, the score for Fudge's serve.
Huge point right here.
And this comes back to because at this 9-9, if you can get that 10th point, you still only need 11.
They're sitting pretty.
If you let your opponent also get to 10, you have to win by 2.
It's a change of pace there from Harris that creates a mishit. I think if she goes harder there, Barr's all over it.
9-9-1, the score for Humberg's serve. Allison Harris ready for that. Humberg getting a little bit of help off the tape there. And now it sets up a match point opportunity for Allison Harris and Mari Humberg.
10-9-1.
Good wide dink there from Barr. Pulls Humberg out. She tries to cut it back, but all it does is pop up.
10-9-2.
But that is it. Allison Harris and Mari Humberg putting this tournament on notice. Beating Susannah Barr and Megan Fudge in our women's doubles winners bracket semifinal. We'll see them back here on championship court, and to figure out who they face, we've got that match coming up next. But before we get to that, let's hear from Allison Harris and Mari Humberg on the other side of this break.
Magazine has what you're looking for. Our bi-monthly print publication will help you become a better player with instructional tips, drills, and articles from the top teaching pros in the sport. And you'll become a healthier, stronger player with psychological, nutritional, and wellness advice from experts in their fields. Finally, if it's product reviews or the latest news, we have that too. To learn more or to subscribe today, go to pickleballmagazine.com.
From the Volpe family to yours. Fine cured meats we've been crafting since 1902. Our secrets are simple. Care comes from the time it takes to do things right. Character comes from the hard work and determination it takes to make it. Craft comes from the traditions passed down over 4 generations. Delicious doesn't need to be complicated. That's the Volpe way, where passion and love go into everything we do. From John and Armando and Lorenza and Gianna. From our family to yours.
We save time when we buy and book online at discounttire.com.
Which means more time
Wait, take
for...
a check.
Kyle, it's pickleball.
Every time.
002.
Get 30% shorter average wait time when you buy and book online at DiscountTire.com.
The APP is presented by Selkirk, Rainstorm, State Farm, and Tervis.
And we'll take another look here at match point for Allison Harris and Mari Humberg. The backspin gets that quick drop. Barr not able to pick it up, misses that one into the net. It was an excellent job from Harris and Humberg holding on and being able to battle their way back here in games 2 and 3. They're going to move on to our winners bracket final, and we have Dominic Catalano, who's courtside with our winners.
Here courtside with Mari Humberg, Allison Harris. Congratulations, ladies. Moving on to that winner bracket final wasn't easy. 11-6 you lose the first game. Going into that second game, what was the game plan?
I think we talked a lot about we've played this team a couple of times. They're very tough. But the game plan was kind of to just execute a little bit better. We thought we had the right game plan going into it. But we missed a few shots that we probably shouldn't have. So just keep at it. Don't stop what we're doing.
And Allison, playing next to Mari, she's got that roll flick. She's putting a lot of pressure on. What does it do for you playing that right side and kind of setting her up a little bit?
Yeah, I just have to stick to the game plan of just rolling it out and setting her up and letting her do her thing and flick it and put it away.
All right, well, congratulations, ladies. Moving on to that winner bracket final. We'll take a quick break. Our second women's semifinal here in Rosemont, Illinois on Championship Court.